In this video, I'm going to show you how I make a mech with spray bottle parts. Hi guys, so I was alerted that this video had a very faulty intro. The sound was really bad, and it was because I replayed it once I uploaded to YouTube, and really the sound was not very good till about timestamp 1305, and then it got clear. So obviously that tells me the software I was using was really not good. So it's okay. I'm glad that that person pointed it out, and that person was nice. There wasn't, I'm not ticked off or anything. I just decided to redo the video because I don't want faulty sound. It kind of does ruin it if you're trying to listen, right? So this is a new intro, and the rest of the video I didn't touch. So for any of you that are new, that haven't seen this video, this is a whole new intro. And thank you to the person that pointed it out. All right, folks, let's get into mech building. Okay, so I've already shown how I make artillery pieces using the insides of spray bottles, the components of spray bottles, and also the weapons for example, this hovercraft that I made for the elves. You can see how the spray bottle guts are used as guns, and also as the main gun for my super tank that I built a couple of weeks ago. Right, so basically I take these spray bottle components apart, and you can see them here. That's what this photo is showing you, and I have to decide what's going to be the leg components, what's going to be the hull, etc. So this piece here I'm going to be using as the legs and thighs, basically the thighs of the walker, but I need to remove the piece that I'm holding in order that it can fit the way I want it to. So I cut off those big round pieces, and now I just have this part of the spray bottle. And so these are going to become the thighs of the walker. So next is the hull, and what I'm showing you here is what I want the hull to look like. And then these are probably going to be feet, and I'm just kind of putzing around and messing around with the pieces. And finally I join the pieces in such a way that I have a hull and the thighs of the walker. So to do that, I drill a hole through the one of the pieces, the one that's going to be the main hull, and then I drill a hole that a dowel can go through. And what I'm showing you here is that the pieces of the spray bottle had these little circles there, and I'm going to use that as a guide to drill a hole through it so that I can put my dowels through them. And that's what I'm showing you here. I'm drilling a hole through those pieces there, through those circles, and that's where my dowel is going to go through, and that's how I'm going to hold my legs. And here's the picture of the dowel going through the plastic and through the part that I'm calling the leg, the thigh, and that's what holds it in place. And then I drill a hole through the this was the nozzle of the spray bottle, and I drill a hole through it. This is what I like to use as a muzzle for weapons in other builds. But I'm drilling a hole through it here, and there I'm just showing how I hold the piece so that I can drill it. I mark it with a magic marker and drill a hole. And then what you see here is the thigh piece, and I marked with the marker a little peg that is in there, and that's what the piece is going to fit through. So here is a picture of that piece. This is going to hold the actual legs in place. So it's going to connect the legs, the lower legs, to the thighs. And that's what I'm trying to show here. And so here is a better picture of the little spray nozzles as they are attached to the thighs, so that I can then make the legs. So you see where I'm going with this. So now the problem is that I have to attach legs to the actual feet. So I'm going to have to do a little drilling with my Dremel. And these tubes that I inserted into the thighs are hollow. So there you can see how I stick the dowels that are going to become the legs. So we'll see that in just a minute. And a lot of this is just, you know, basically experimenting, you know, moving things around. But there are the legs as I am beginning to assemble them. You can see how the dowels fit into the hollow pieces that were once the spray nozzles. And here's a picture of the mech as it stands on its own. Now I had to add some dowels to the ankle bits, to the ankles, what I'm calling the ankles, in order that the mech could stand. And so here's a picture of the mech standing with the little leg pieces that I made for it. So now to strengthen the legs, these are the remnants of clothespins as I cut them. So what I do is here's the assembly for the leg. And I added another dowel there. And these little wire bits, they hold the dowels together. And they are cemented together with contact cement. So again, here's the piece now with two dowels forming the legs. And then these little wire bits that are holding everything in place with the glue. And what I'm showing you here is that the dowels, I drill holes into the plastic so that the dowels go right through the holes. That strengthens the build, and that's very important to make sure that the build is strong. Now there's still motion to this, and that's the cool part, is that despite some of the gluing, there is still motion to the hull. So here I'm just working on the legs a little bit, and now I added some bits to the side of the hull for the weapon mounts. And then this is another picture of the leg assembly as I add some more dowels to strengthen the piece. And again, I'm using the remnants of clothespins, those wire things that connect the clothespins, and that's what I'm doing for the different bits. So you can see how the weapon mounts over at the top are joined. Also, for the back of the legs, this is another piece of the spray bottle components, and I add that to the back of the leg to give it some support. So now that the weapon mounts are put in place, you see that the cap of the piece here, this was a cap and base piece, and it snaps right in. And the nice thing is, this was from a water bottle. The nice thing is that it turns. I can use this now as a component to turn the weapons so that the weapons have some motion. And that's by using the base of the bottle cap and the bottle cap itself. So now I attach a weapon bit that I had from Titanicus, and that's it. Now for the legs, in order to join the legs and make sure that the legs stay in place, I use those wooden beads from necklace making kits, and I actually glue them in place on both sides. What you're seeing here is one of the beads on the interior of the leg, inside the hull, and that holds the dowels in place so that they don't fall off. So that's very important. Okay, and there's that wooden bead holding the legs in place, and there's one on the inside of the hull as well. So I added these Titanicus bits, and it's great because to one of the Titanicus bits I add a little dowel, and it actually turns now. And of course I had to drill a hole in the chin of the piece so that the dowel can fit through. And as you can see, the weapon actually turns. And both weapons attached to the lids there, the caps, they also turn. So I always recommend that when you're doing these builds, if you have something like a bottle cap and a base to the bottle cap that fit together, you know, use them. You can actually make a turret out of it, and like I said, these pieces snap in place, and if I want to, I can remove them later on and add different weapons as long as I'm adding the same cap to the base. So that's really cool. So here is the mech now pretty much all assembled. Okay, and I added an extra dowel to the foot. There's like 3 dowels there, and you can see another piece up on top of the thigh. Okay, and I'm using that clothespin wire to kind of decorate a little bit. So now I'm still not finished. I have to decorate this thing. I still have a lot of bits to add. And there's the model with my super tank in front of my super tank and some of the Imperial Guard. Okay, so it's a nice looking walker. And again, I'm not finished. I'm going to be working on those legs. That's the next part of this build, is to really work on those legs. So thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this build as much as I did. More builds like this in the future.